Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, Mr. Widi. I am Muhammad Rizky Kifari as the first presenter from today's presentation. Okay. Now, today we will talk about the derivations from semantic course, and what we will learn today. We will learn about the derivation, and the second one about morpheme, the third one about compound word, and the fourth one we will learn about incoactive. The next one we will learn about causative, and then we will learn about resultative, and the last one we will learn about suppletion. Okay, let's see the first one. Derivation is the process of forming new words according to a fairly regular pattern on the basis of pre-existing words. So it means that new words may be formed by combining existing words with meaningful units smaller than words, or with other existing words, according to derivational patterns or rules that are part of every speaker's mental knowledge of the language. So there is a special technical term used by linguistics to describe the basic components that make up derived words, which is morpheme. So the next step we will have the relation about with the derivation. Okay, a morpheme is a minimal unit of word building that combines a minimal unit of meaning with a minimal linguistic form that carries these meanings. Morphemes are the building blocks of words derivation in language. And note that, according to this definition, the class of morphemes in a language is not restricted to just the class of freestanding words. So, let's see the example. The example is dog. An existing word such as dog is a morpheme because it combines a minimal unit of a meaning with a minimal linguistic form. The form is minimal because it is not possible to convey the meaning of dog by any smaller set of sounds than the three sounds that make up the word as we know it. For example, we cannot suddenly start referring to a dog as an og by leaving off the initial consonant sound represented by the letter D, or as a do by leaving off the final consonant sound represented by the letter of G. So the dog is the minimal unit of meaning, and we cannot change this word. So after we learn about the morpheme, we will talk about compound word. Okay, a compound word is a derived from form by combining two persisting words in a language. So a compound word, we can say that combine two words into one and make a new meaning. And derived words such as bluebird, spaceship, babysit, and bittersweet are compounds because they consist of two pre-existing root words in the language rather than a root word together with either a prefix or suffix. So let's take a practice first. Yeah. Okay. Divide each word in the following list into its constituent morphemes. Some words may contain only one morpheme, while others may contain two or more morphemes. Identify whether each morpheme is a root, a prefix, or a suffix. Also identify and derived word that is a compound. And these are the practice itself. For example, you can see that the greatness with the great word and add the suffix ness and it becomes the greatness. Homework is a compound because home and work based from two words combined into one. Sleepwalk also compound, and intolerant is a prefix. Father, only one morpheme, we cannot change this word, so this is the basic word. Revitalize is re means prefix, vital is a word, and is suffix. Okay, next. Oh, there is a note in here. Note, we start to analyze the process of derivation in more detail by noting that the step in a derivation is usually actually not one process, but there are three simultaneous processes. Namely, the first one, a morphological process. Okay, a morphological process is changing the shape of an existing word by adding a prefix or suffix morpheme to an existing root morpheme. And the second one is a syntactic process. It means that changing the part of speech of a word, in this case is from verb to noun. And the last one is a semantic process, and it means producing a new sense. Okay, let's see the table below. As you can see from the explanation above, it can be drawn as this. For example, love, and it become loather, add suffix ter, and it become morphological process. And it means that you can see the syntactic process, the change verb to noun. And as you can see, the semantic process itself produces word denoting an act or an activity. And also you can see in the two words below, teach become teacher, and read and red become redness. Okay, after we talk about the compound word, we will talk about the incoative. But it is not always possible to describe difference in the meaning between derived words and their sources in as clear terms as we could in the case of comparative adjectives derived from the credible adjectives as a step towards developing full account of this meaning difference. Semantics have invented a number of classificatory labels for the various kinds of derivations found in languages. And these labels include such as term incoative, causative, and resultative. So the next part we will learn about the incoative first. Okay, what is incoative? An incoative form denotes the beginning or coming into existence of some state. For example, in this slide we can see that the dark is adjective, denotes a state. Darken, an initiative verb. As in the sky, darken is the corresponding inquisitive form because it denotes the beginning of a state of darkness. Okay, the examples such as this confirm that the morphological process most commonly used in English to derive an inquisitive form is the suffix of "n", and obviously, however, suffix of "n" is not the only device used. Zero deviations is quite common with inquisitives. Okay, the next is we will learn about a causative. What is a causative? A causative form denotes an action which causes something to happen. In here I will show you some examples of causatives. The first example is redden. John reddened his hands. And the second one is freeze. We will freeze these strawberries for Christmas. Move. Someone has moved my desk. Roll. Fiona rolled her pencil across the table. Okay, the next is we will learn about the resultative. A resultative form denotes a state resulting from someone for some action. For the example, broken, used as an adjective, is the resultative form corresponding to break. The transitive verb and the state of being broken results from the actions of broken. Okay, let's see the example. Molten or melt. This crucible contains molten steel, flattened. They live in huts made of flattened oil drums. Frozen. Ice is frozen water. Carved. There is an intricately carved fireplace in his room. Dried. The roof was thatched with dried glass. Wait a minute. Okay, let's see the illustrations in the next slide. Okay, the notions inquisitive, causative, and resultative take one round in circle. So there is a relation between these three, and it become a round in cycle from words denoting states, through words denoting process, and through words denoting actions, and back to words denoting states. This relationship is shown diagrammatically below. So for example, we say that straight as adjective and becomes straighten and change into intransitive verb and change again in straighten transitive verb and back to strengthened as adjective. So start from inquisitive and through the process of causative and take the actions from resultative into the state again. Okay, the last one we will learn about the supellation. So what is the supellation? Supellation is a process whereby in irregular and idiosyncratic cases, substitutions of a morphologically unrelated form is associated with the specific semantic and or syntactic process, normally accompanying a morphological process. The example, bad into worse. So, in the case of supellation, worse is clearly semantically related to bad in exactly the same way as, for example, larger is related to large. but there is no morphological relationship between the two words, and there is no phonetic similarity between them. So as you can see in this slide, we can conclude that it's similar with the synonym process, because there is no clearly semantically related to between the two words, and there is no phonetic similarity between them. Let's see the example or the practice. Give the substantive forms indicated in each case below. The ordinal number corresponding to the cardinal number 1. So you can answer it first because it connected. The second one, the ordinal numeral corresponding to cardinal 2. You can answer it second. The third one is the superlative form of good, as largest is the superlative of large. You can answer it best. A plural form of person. You can answer the people. Okay? I think it's enough from today. Thank you for your attention. And everyone, thank you for your attention, Mr. Witty. I'll close this presentation, and the next presentation will continue by my friend Tia and Anis. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.